everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring the weekly twin flame reading for the week of June 12 to the 19th. Okay, I missed you last week, because last week, midweek, it was my birthday, and, well, I actually didn't get to do anything on my birthday except clean house, so I feel like Cinderella, because our, helper, my assistant, that takes care of the dogs, everything else, he was called away on vacation, and I don't think he has any plans of coming back. So that's one development that I've had to keep up with. And we've been bombarded with intense energy since the full moon on the 9th, and this is a result of that. All these things, it's like being thrown a curveball out of the blue. But I see these things as they're sort of like pop quizzes from the universe, trying to see if how stabilized you are in 5D. Because ordinarily my world would fall apart, because I was already exhausted doing everything else before he left, but now there's more on my plate. But for some reason it gets managed, and because of being stable in 5D, you see all these things as just, humps. It's not the end of the world. It's just something that you have to go through. And I get the same feedback from some of my clients who come to me for readings about these recent developments in their life that they need to keep up with as well. So anyway, let's see what the energies are for this week. Okay, so this side is the side of the divine masculine. This side is the side of the divine feminine. Okay, so for the divine masculine, we have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords indicates movement. This is an energy moving towards a better place, one filled with light. You can see here this woman, she's still navigating herself out of this dungeon or cavern. She has a boatman with her. But there are 3 swords jutting from the ceiling and 3 swords jutting out of the water, indicating that she needs to take care, have some precaution, because there is still a risk of hitting those swords, the boat hitting those swords, the swords hitting the woman or the boatman. So much care still needed. But this is an energy of movement. So the divine masculine is moving towards someplace better without all these risks, danger, and things that if they encounter will delay them from moving forward. Okay? The next card we have for the divine masculine is the Five of Cups. And here we see the Five of Cups. This is what he's moving away from. We've seen the divine masculine not wanting to leave that energy of not being able to replicate what they've had before, and very much immersing themselves in the feeling of loss, disappointment, regret. And this all has to do with that stereotype about the divine masculine, that they have to have it all together, because sometimes they don't. Okay? Well, neither does the divine feminine. But the thing to do when that happens is that, excuse me, You get out of that energy. Because see here, we see this woman. She's holding cups, but she's not even looking at these cups or appreciating the cups that she has in her hands that are pristine, that are uncracked, unbroken. Instead, she's looking out into the distance because she's still crying, wallowing about these spilled cups. But we see here that the divine masculine is moving away from that. That's not what he's moving towards. He's moving away from this. But we will pick clarifying cards later on. And next we have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, here, this is the energy of creation. Divine masculines wanting to create already. In the past weeks, we've had them really fired up to make something new of themselves. And this is also very much in line with this energy that he's leaving. It's like he woke up one day saying that, okay, they're broken. What do I do with it now? But I still have these 2 cups. Better make the most of it. And this is him now, utilizing the energy of fire to propel him forwards to motion, because there needs to be will there. You have to want to create. Okay, and this is what this king is doing. As you can see here, his belt and the lower end of his scepter, they make the number 7. 7 is the number of God. So this is his actions, his being creative, being a co-creator of his next steps forward. That is divinely guided and divinely inspired. You can see the 2 big bull horns here creating a circle. But in that circle, this represents tenacity, determination. In the middle of the circle is an open pit fire. So again, stressing the creative power of fire. And of course there are dragons there, so which reminds me that if your divine masculines are still not in this energy yet, then, or even you, because sometimes I have clients wherein they're doing healings, but actually their divine masculines are quite ready, and they're the ones that need to clear the divine feminines. So anyway, for those whose divine masculines need clarity, clearing, this very insistent, urgent energy to create, then do consider the RASHEEBA healings. Okay? And the next card that we have for the divine masculine is the Queen of Coins. And here, this answers the question, what does he want to create? What direction is he taking all his creative energy? And here we have the Queen of Coins. Coins, manifestation in the physical of this queen, his divine feminine. So there you have it, but we'll pick some clarifying cards for that, because that's the direction he's going this week. At least for those whose divine masculines resonate with this reading, okay? Okay, for the 6 of Swords, let's see. This is delay. And what this is saying is that some of the divine masculines are, their movement forwards will be delayed because of this. The still wallowing in the loss and the disappointment. Okay. Well, this is just a confirmation because this is loss, this is theft. We see the bat getting, I don't know if that's a mouse. Okay, so this just says loss. Delayed movement forward because of preoccupation with loss. Okay, and for the King of Wands, okay, this is castle. This is fixing his house. It's like building his fortress. He wants to create something that is more stable than whatever he had before that was lost. And he is dogged in his determination to build this fortified version, the new and improved version of his relationship. For the Queen of Coins, okay, this is transition, this is change. What before was shrouded in darkness, in the night, in confusion, that's going to come to light. So for the divine feminines, who before their relationship with their divine masculines was very confusing, okay? Because it really all depends on where you are at this stage of the journey. But a lot of divine feminines have gone through this already. And they're slowly being acknowledged by their divine masculines. So this is changing into the sun energy where things are clearer now. And because they are together, see, he wants to build this fortified relationship with his divine feminine. However, because this is saying that this is time now. And what caused the delay before of this moving forward was his preoccupation with the past. Okay, and let's look at the cards of this would be the general energies or the advice of spirit to the divine masculines. This Four of Discs, and this connotes, in other cards this would connote hoarding, but again this stresses the sort of directive to the divine masculine to build something that's solid. 4 solid pentacles here now in 3D, and here you see this upper coin here. It has the inscription Sol Invicto, which means to the unconquered sun. Again, echoing this sturdy foundation of what he plans to create. These 2 crowns here, the side of the green man, they're the crowns of the serpent. You know, the serpent in the caduceus, 2 serpents rising like the kundalini. Those are their crowns. And here below we have the pine cone and the seeing eye representing 5D, okay, your third sight, the pineal gland. So all of this, 4 corners, working to establish this foundation. The green man comes as a warning that, you know, there are some divine masculines that are really so perfectionist that they want everything down to the last detail just right. Because here, he doesn't want anything, any reason for this to not work when it comes to their divine feminine. So they're getting everything in place, which reminds me that here at the bottom of the deck, see, which would be the general energies of this reading. We have here the Emperor card. And the Emperor card, he fixes everything in his empire, because his empire has got to work. All its components, all the kingdoms that are part of the empire, they have to do their job. All the kingdoms have to turn in their collection of taxes, and so that services can be given. They each have to play a role. So this is getting things in place and making the most of what you have to build something that's sturdy. And here we have the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords, here we see these two cross swords here, silver and gold. Okay, and the Page of Swords is a young energy, and what's coming to me now is that because he wants to fix things, there are decisions that have to be made, and these are new decisions that he has to think of pertaining to some things from the past. Okay, because here both twins want to rise above all their concerns and worries. Here we have the Four of Swords. Okay, the Four of Swords, they form a bed. Okay, these are mental concerns, concerns of the mind, worries. But both twins now, they want to rise above that, which is why they're fixing things in order for them to do so. Here we find this soldier, this man, sleeping atop the swords. So he's being given rest. And we see this crow here, carrying flowers of red and white. Red signifying the creative energy, creation. Okay. White signifying purity, divine guidance, intent. So here, because if you are consumed with worries, and that is aka if you are still embroiled in 3D and you cannot see or shift to 5D when necessary, then you're going to have all these worries not you. So both twins, okay, the divine masculine, divine feminine, want to rise above all their worries. And so that, because it's only in that state wherein they can appreciate and accept the gifts being given to them of creation and guidance. Okay, see here, High Priestess, seeing beyond the veil. If you're if all you can see is the Four of Swords and you don't get past it, you're not able to elevate yourself above it, then the guidance of the High Priestess will not be readily available to you. Okay? To leave whatever that doesn't resonate with the new reality that you are creating. Okay, I'll stop there. So basically, oops, what is this? Cards. Okay, so let's go on to the side of the Divine Feminine. For the Divine Feminine, first card we have for her is the Four of Wands. And again, this is being established, stabilized in 5D. Because here you see that were it not for these crystals atop these wands, okay, and the wands are like the four corners of this scenario, the earth would be very parched and dry and hot. But here we have this sliver of paradise that is available because it's being lit up. This scene is being lit up from the sun, by the sun's rays. And you can see here the trees are growing, the rivers are flowing. It's like wherever you find the cradle of civilization, there's bound to be a river there because water is life. It supports all these trees And you can see there, those trees that are out of bounds, okay? They're dry, they don't have leaves. And there is the rainbow there, and there are birds that are harbingers of messages. So basically what the Divine Feminine is doing right now is that they're able to access, well, this was basically what I told you earlier about what happened to me, okay? That no matter how difficult the circumstances, if you're able to access 5D, you have access to this sliver of paradise that enables you to carry on, to move on, to do what you need to do, to nurture this. Because you're not bogged down by all the worries that this entails. That's not escapism, because we all know that 3D, apart from 3D, we are multidimensional beings. So this is just jumping timelines, accessing other dimensions, in order to make the most of this incarnation. The next card we have for the Divine Feminine is the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups indicates much love for her Divine Masculine. You see here that the hands are intertwined, almost in a cheek. You know, when you toast somebody, they're celebrating each other. And their hands are intertwined by this cord. It reminds me that, because here, weddings in my country, there are certain traditions when it comes to weddings, and one of the symbolic things that one does whenever there's a wedding is that there is a veil that's put over the bride and groom to signify that they're under the same roof, shroud of protection. And then there is they call it the aras, the coins, and the coins is for their abundance. But there's also the cord, and that's what this reminds me of, to bind both couples together. So what this is saying is that because the Divine Feminines, at least those who have stabilized in 5D, and are working on themselves to stabilize in it more, to heal whatever needs to be healed, then they're enjoying this relationship with their twin, at least on an emotional level, wherein I don't know how to say it, but compared with other people, we're still wondering if there's someone out there for them. And I'm pretty sure that all of you at one point in time in your lives, before knowing that you're a twin, had this question. Well, you've graduated from that question. You already know who it is. So there's a certain security in that, in knowing that there is someone meant for you. Okay? And that you can commune with them energetically if you're not yet together in the physical. Because we all know that starts from above, as above, so below. But there's a ladder of progression there before it trickles down to the physical, because here the energies are very dense. So there has to be some conversion. Okay, anyway, so the next card we have for the Divine Feminine is the Star. Very hopeful, keeping faith. The things that have been that have been obliterated, that have crashed down, are going to be rebuilt. See here, we see this nymph spreading starlight on this swamp. And it's very different, okay? So bringing faith, hope, and light to this situation, and even reassuring her divine masculine that whatever he's lost, they have the power to create again. That's why she's becoming his muse. Okay? Anyway, so, and the last card for the Divine Feminine, beautiful cards for the Divine Feminine this week. We have the Sun. And the Sun card is a very powerful card because you can see here the Divine Feminines, at least most of you, have gotten to the stage wherein you have achieved balance. Okay? And this, because the Sun is the central figure in our galaxy, or the planets orbit it, all the other planets, they revolve around this. And what this card is saying is that because you have done your work, Divine Feminines, you have become the conduit to amplify this energy of unconditional love, of how do you say it, of, it's like you're ascension pioneers urging other people to bring out the light in them, not go toward the light like they're dead, okay? But you know, be the light that they are, because they don't realize that it's in them. It's just all smothered by all that ego, all the trappings of 3D. But you're being the sun to everyone around you. Okay, so let's pick clarifying cards for these. Okay, shuffle. Okay, for the Four of Wands. Okay. See here, this is enemies, but I would read it as all the challenges that you have to cut through, okay, to regenerate. So this would pertain to all this. Because if you're not there yet, and you would know if you aren't, well actually you wouldn't, but those who, because look, if you're climbing a ladder, all you can see is the foot of the person above you, okay, or they're behind. But when you're the person looking down from wherever place you are on that ladder, from the higher rung, you can see the whole vista downstairs. Okay, so that's it. So these challenges coming, okay, if they haven't come for you, well, just hope that they don't. I said they were like pop quizzes, okay, to see how much you stabilize in 5D there. So that's just the extra challenge. Okay, so the cups, this is support. See, you have support from the higher self of your twin flame that's helping you get through all of that. For the Star card, peace. Okay, so a very calm energy, an understated hope. This is a certainty that this will be rebuilt again from the ashes. Okay, this is like an even keel, very fine energy there. And the Sun card, okay. See here, like I said earlier, you are an influencer of everybody around you, because the table signifies social engagements, invitations, people you come into contact with, you interrelate with, and you're becoming the sun for them, okay? And the card that we have for the Divine Feminines is the Six of Discs. And here, we have the Six of Discs represents success. We have 6 pomegranates here in this sort of valley, this deep recession in this mountain. And this inverted triangle signifies receiving. You know, I know a lot of you have read the book The Secret. It's been a big hit. I read it at the time that it was so really popular. But what gave context, what added to that formula of, you know, asking, supporting, is Esther and Abraham Hicks' books, wherein you have to get into this energy of allowing, okay? Allowance. You have to allow the universe to give you whatever you want. And this is the energy that the divine masculine, the divine feminines are being advised to have. To be the holy grail, the cup that receives all these blessings. Because here we see the sun and the moon. They're already, it's like an eclipse there. They're superimposed above each other, signifying union. And the key, we have keys here, silver and gold, indicating balance. And there, that's in order to receive the 6-pointed stars. Again, masculine, feminine, hot, cold. But the key to having all of this is because this kind of energy allows you to receive from the universe all the blessings, all that you have asked for. Okay, so I'm going to pick a card in the middle there for their combined energies for this week. Okay, this is worries this week. Well, I would say this is worries because, like I said earlier, the intense energies have brought on curveballs in different various forms, okay? You think you have a plan, you're all set because, you know, you're creating this new beginning. You have a plan, and then there's this curveball, and that's bringing on worries. But you see here, divine feminine sailing through it, getting through it, and divine masculine looking forward to this new beginning because he wants to create something stable. Okay, so that's what I have for you this week. For those who haven't gotten the heart chakra Reiki, it's a very beautiful healing that you should check out, especially if your twin flame, because sometimes you don't know. There are other clients who've had couples heart chakra Reiki, thinking that they've had to heal their twin when actually it was their heart that was more blocked. Okay, and I get that during when I do the healings. So do consider that. So I'm going to put that up, and the link is on my website. And for those who need the fire of creation, especially for the divine masculines, because it's like they've taken it's their turn now to create everything in the physical. That's why they have the Four of Pentacles there and the Queen of Coins. Okay, if their divine masculine needs the energies of fire, do consider a RASHEEBA session for them. And upon the suggestion, I have something new. Not really new, but one of the commenters suggested that I put a donate button for the energy exchange that I give out for these free readings. And so I did. So for those who feel that they have been helped by these readings, and if you'd like to donate, there's a donate button up on my site. You're not obliged to, but it's just fair energy exchange. So I thank all of you who will donate in advance, and if you don't, that's also fine. Okay, so that's what we have for this week. Take care, everyone. Bye.